All right, let's get started. Hey everyone, I hope everyone's going well. So today we're doing some more welking. Yeah, we'll just continue on. I was hoping I would be further with this. Just haven't had much time. So what was I up to on the week? We're doing 1 person. All right, cool. We've got problems with the interface. Does that file exist? All right, I've moved some stuff around. I've been doing some research on how I want to actually handle the validation. Sorry. And of course I've broken stuff. I did it all on my laptop, had to push it on Git. Didn't want to feature branch it out and all that kind of stuff because I was a bit lazy. So yeah, push broken commit. Let's fix it at least. So, we've got the validation stuff. Failed to resolve import interfaces. Touche. The interface folder should be there. Give me 2 seconds. I am just going to double check I pushed that. Alright, I have thought I was doing one thing but did another thing. I just had a look at my laptop. So I've been silly. Yeah, there should be. All right, moving source utils interface to source types. There it is. All right, types, not interface. Yeah, all right, so first things first, I'm gonna remove that. Okay, cool. We've got everything up and running again. This select is not working. Not a problem. I was doing some other stuff. I do want to actually implement all the colors and so forth like that, and I kind of have a list of colors I kind of want to use. I just didn't put them in the source code yet because I'm still playing around with all of that stuff. Yeah. All right, so we've got the text, we've got that. All right, cool. I am just bringing up the prod.NearBeach. I think I got to, no, I don't need to log in. All right, sweet. I just need to type in welk. I'm going to bring this down. So this is our Kanban board for this. So we're still going to do the date time stuff. I'm actually going to redo them. So these are actually getting moved down here. Daytime picker is actually going to be pretty high. And the reason being for that is I'm going to need it. Whereas the other ones, the date picker and the time picker, not so much. So I'm happy leaving them down there. All right, so I'm just going to put that onto that now. So we've got the date time picker. We'll have a selected multi-select. Sorry. Now I think we were working on the select, so I'm trying to remember where we were. And we've just hit our first ad break, but not to worry. For those on YouTube, we run ads on Twitch to stop the pre-rolled ads because the pre-rolled ads suck. So yeah, we tend to do this and no one misses out on any content. Alright, so I'm trying to remember what I wanted to do. I did write it up. So I need to do the tabs. The select is kind of done. I've just got to make sure it's going to look nice. We're going to fix the validation. So I think I'm doing the validation for the text editor. I've just got to fix that up. Once that's fixed, I'll port it over into the other places. We need to finish the tabs. Yep. All right. I've got that. I need to start the multi-select, and then I've got to select the colors we're going to use. All right. Cool. Sorry, I've got a short list on my whiteboard to tackle stuff, and we are joined here today with Socks. So yeah. All right. We're about 20 seconds left with the ads. Here you go. Socks. Say hi to people. Be like, sup? Aren't you gonna say hi? There you go, yeah. No, they come and see you, not me, clearly. Alright, we're pretty much just about to restart again. Welcome back, everyone. Let's jump into it. So, I fixed that. That's fine. I need to export the types, don't I, then? Yeah, I do. Alright. Export everything from types. Yeah, I need to put everything in there. Why is validation? Yeah, I know, Socks. Sorry, that should actually be validation interface. Alright. I'm just double checking. Yeah, I'm gonna... Clearly I was tired on the weekend when I was doing this. I've got to be consistent whenever doing this. So if the file name is that, then the export is going to be that, and so forth like that. So I've got to follow that through. Now the index itself, don't worry about that. I'm just going to put that over there. We've got the document, we've got drop down, we've got the folder, item, interface. We'll have the index, we'll have the menu, we'll have the that will be the select option interface. That will be the tab heading interface. And the validation rules interface. All right, cool. So I've definitely broken something by renaming that interface, but that's not a problem. We'll fix it up, of course. I'm just getting everything to be consistent. All right, so I'm happy with the types like that for the moment. If I get more and more and more and more types in here, I'm gonna have to structure them in subfolders and so forth like that. That won't be a problem. Socks, you know, trying to... All right, so we want to go into the components. We want to have a look at the text input. So here's the welcome text input. Just closing everything I don't need. We're gonna have a look up here. Boom. We've got validation rule not working right now. We've got required rule. We've got that would be the validation rule interface. And that should be a type. I'm also scratching my head at the moment. If that's the interface, I should have the rules over here. I've got to clean all of this up. Don't sit on my stuff. All right. Now that's having a problem. There you go. No, it's not having a problem. Oh, I can't type. All right. Interface. All right, cool. I don't know the command to get to the end of a file. Oh, there we go. Yeah, it's not that. And that goes all the way up there. All right. So I'm happy with that so far. So we've got a bunch of different rules in here. We've got required. I'm just wondering why export required rule symbol required. Okay. Now, we also have a problem with translation, which I got to think about. Yeah, I've got to think about that properly. I'm not going to worry about it right this second. Oh, no, hold on. I have thought of it. If we have a look down here, min length, we've got the min and then we've got the message. Yes, const. All right, cool. And we pass through a message. This is the default message. Yeah, all right. Guess we have to do that just to be consistent. We've got the interface, we've got the const rule. It's going to pass through that, the length. Yep, all right, cool. We get the length. We've got the value, we're putting it to a string just in case. We're trimming the ends, so if someone does a space bar, it doesn't count. And we're taking the length of it. And if... Okay, and we're returning either a true or a message. Okay. Yeah, we're returning a true or a string. The value when we don't know, it's unknown. And this is a type symbol. We've got that as up there. All right, cool. Rule.type equals that. And that's what I've got to do for the other ones too. All right. So it's been a little while since I've done this. And then with the interfaces, we have the required rule. All right, let's go into it. So all of these will be pretty similar. I wouldn't say too far from a custom. We're not going to be using Validate or anything like that. This is just for our dumb components. I just need something very, very basic, so you could lean on custom, but in reality, we're not going to have that many rules in there. I'm trying to implement it properly. Decision trees, I've done a little bit of research, probably Wednesday last week or on the weekend and stuff like that, and forgotten it already. Yeah, it was recommending me to build it up like this. So, yeah. I'm just going to play around with it. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. So, yeah. Alright, so we have all that. Now, I've got to convert these to that newer method. Hey! Sorry, that was at the computer. Because I went Shift A and it gave me a new line. So we'll have the const rule. That's going to be a validation rule interface. Equals that. And then we'll have rule type. This isn't going to be required type. This is going to be minimum length. And then we're going to have return rule. Now that I need to define here. All right. Oh. So I should be able to import that now. All right, cool. Then we need max length. And Cherry, how are you going? Hopefully going well. Yeah, I need max length, I need pattern, and I need email for the moment. So, all right, cool. We'll just go in here. Maximum length, pattern, and that will be email. All right, so we've got those three. Can I just import everything? No, I can't. All right, that's a bit annoying. All right, so we've got that. We'll have the maximum. Minimum length required. We'll have email. Hey, I hit the escape. Thank you. What was that was pattern. Alright, so we just gotta fix these ones up down here. This will be const rule, validation rule interface. Just doing a simple equals, and then we're gonna go rule type. That's going to be maximum length, and then return rule, easy done. Pattern is like that, and then we've got const rule, validation rule interface equals all of that. You also do live and build ML project. Ooh, nice. What are you, for machine learning, what are you getting it to do at the moment? All right, we've got the const rule. That's going to be the validation rule interface. Rule type is email and then return rule. I think I got that right. I don't think I got that one right, but we'll come back to it. I wanted to tell you one thing. Can you please increase your volume? All right, yep, easy done. I can bring the mic closer to me and I can increase the mic. Hopefully that's a lot better. And I can decrease that. As for the typing sound, I've got a very loud keyboard, so sorry about that. Now, I don't think that's correct, but we'll come to it and we'll actually test it a little bit later. I think that one will be fine. Yeah, I don't think that's correct at all. So we know that's going to be unknown. Yeah, I'm just going to have a read of some of this. So we're going to come through const length equals that, and then yeah, const that equals that. Yeah, we split that up, const to dirt. With this one, I am value to string or nothing. Ah, cheers, yeah. All right, so that's okay, I think. So that's either true or it sends a message. Okay, yep. No, I get that. I get that now. With the pattern, yeah, it's not message we want to send. I'm just going to comment this line. I'm going to go const rule validation rule interface equals a value. We know it's an unknown. That we're going to open up like that, because first what we're going to do this should be const pattern Oop, still got that in the Mac shortcuts. JavaScript regex, just because I hardly use it. See, the repo goes back 10 years. It's not quite 10 years, I don't think. Oh God, possibly. Not very much with the AI. I did actually write a little blog post about this recently. I mainly use it for sort of researching ideas and stuff like that. I don't get it to generate much code, maybe a little snippet here and there, but usually I end up rewriting it because I want to know what it's actually doing and so forth like that. Start as wherever from. Oh, all right, cool. Yep. So I just saw your message. That's not like me. I will. Regex is powerful. I do like regex. I'm not the best with it just yet. So, all right, cool. And where am I? Down here. So what I actually want to do is I want to copy that out. I don't know what pattern does. Is that a... Give me 2 seconds. Let's find out what pattern does. So if I've got, let's say var a equals example at spacecamp.com. I made that up. And I've got pattern. Yeah, I'm just gonna copy that and I'm just gonna paste it in and I'm just gonna put A in there. Yeah, it doesn't exist. All right. Doesn't matter. And then we've got that. All right, cool. So we've got the const my array. Just wondering if let's open up this. Whoa. Let's grab this. Let's go back up here. So I'm just reading the documentation again. Oh, that's what I want, test. So I can go pattern.test. And if I go, let's say, space at space.space. Oh. It's because I used a capital T. There we go. But if I do space, false. All right, cool. That's what we want. And then what we want to do is return pattern.test, and then we'll have value come through like so, or we'll have message. So I like that. Now that's got to be a string. Reg X class, if you prefer. I think this does what I need. I think that should be fine. Anyway, good luck, Cherry. So yeah. And hello, Sherry. How are you? Hopefully you're going well. All right, I'm just figuring out why this is. All right. We do need an unknown here. In which case, I've then got to handle this. So if type of value not equal to string, non-string items are not emailed straight off the bat. We're just going to return back the message. All right, so that would have solved that. Okay. Yeah, oh, that's good to hear. 10 years, how'd you cope with burnout? I have to take time off for burnout and stuff like that. I feel like I'm constantly making progression with it, which is good. We have gotten NearBeach to a point where it's stable. So at the moment, the 0.31 branch is quite stable. It just doesn't look nice, and it looks pretty ugly. It does have a lot of technical debt in it, which is why we're building up Welk. The idea is we'll build up Welk, we'll redesign NearBeach, so we'll get rid of all that technical debt. Anyway, Sherry, yeah, Sherry, I'm going good. Yeah, just trying to get this out. That will be pattern. All right, so I think that's the basic sort of validation I want to do at the moment with this. We've got the interface over here, where we've got all the types and the symbols and so forth like that. Now this is having a problem. Oh, it's red but never. All right, cool. Yeah, all right. Now we don't have ref anymore. Oh, I'm using that rule. All right, just give me 2 seconds. Sorry. Validation rule interface, validation. All right, cool. There we go. Typing that in. So the idea here. So we're trying to make this as generic as possible. With the idea being that, sorry, I'm trying to think. The idea being is I'm not having to write the validation rules everywhere. We can actually get the user just to state, hey, I want this validation. And they import the validation rules that they want, and they just assign them to the class. Sorry, to the component. So yeah, a lot of this is looking a little bit messy now. We've got to get ID, prop located, replace all that. Yep, we got something else I thought on Nuxt. I don't have many thoughts about Nuxt. Yes. Sorry, I've had to look it up to remind myself on it. I haven't actually tried it. Data fetching. All right, I'll do this so you guys can actually see what I'm reading and stuff like that. I'm looking at this going, okay, yep, pretty stock standard Vue stuff. Auto imports, API routes. Okay, like, I just haven't used it. So yeah, I just don't have any thoughts about it at all. I know I'm a bit boring like that. Yes, hopefully one day. When I tend to start new projects, I tend to start new frameworks and stuff like that, just to sort of give me that variability in the job market. Yeah. So yeah, I've used Django, I use a lot of .NET, I use Vue, I've used React in the past, I've used Angular in the past. I do want to learn Svelte. I do quite a lot of plain old JavaScript and so forth like that. So yeah. Now we do have an ad starting in any second now. Just waiting for Twitch to do it. Void function return value is used. Waiting for those ads to start any second now, but we'll continue with this. All right, so use validation straight away. We need the interface in here. Easy done. And then I just need the interface down here. There we go. I fixed that problem. As for this, I think, yeah, we can just move it down to there. All right, easy done. Or, oh no, the ads haven't started playing yet. All right, that's a bit weird. Ah, there we go. All right. Sorry, that took forever. For those on YouTube wondering what's actually happening, we run ads every half an hour on Twitch. Let's stop the pre-rolled ads because they suck. We tend to do this so no one misses out on any content. Don't worry, if you're on YouTube, you're not getting any ads. If you're on Twitch and you're not getting ads, that's fine. There's many reasons why you won't get ads. I don't think I'm popular enough for ads anyway. So, yeah. Hopefully everyone's going well tonight. So yeah, I've had to take a couple of days off just due to being ill. So yeah, I've got about 50 seconds left of the ads. But we are joined here today with Socks as she goes there. She's like, sup? How's everyone? Gonna come over here for a little cuddle. There you go. Give her a little sternum scratch. She might start licking. No, she's not. She's not in a licking mood at the moment. Yeah. She's a bit hot and bothered. Just thinking, alright, probably not next ad break. I'll have to shut the house, but that's perfectly fine. Alright, we've got about 5 seconds. Anyway, welcome back everyone. You get paid for these projects? No, these are open source projects and stuff like that. Oh, do you mean like, yeah, if I got clients and stuff like that, yeah, I'll get paid for those. Alright, I just looked up Wanderlust and I am getting herbal pills. There we go. That's probably what I wanted. Wanderlust, a server-based application. I'm not seeing much information on it. Now, thing is, did I spell it right? I'm assuming it's this. Full stack travel planner application that ensures users create trips, and I don't think this is what you meant. Project Wonder. Open source, reusable web object frameworks, applications, etc. Alright. Or can I classic web applications? Yep. Server applications, REST server. Alright, fair enough. The basic, yep. Even better, SQL, yep. Oh, neat. What is its Java? Alright. I don't know Java though. I know nothing about Java. Okay. Always want to try something new. Not suggesting any frameworks or anything like that though. Oh, fair enough. Yep. I don't mind getting suggestions. So yeah. But when that's in the case of starting a new project, not something which I'm already currently in the middle of. I think hey just meant the word Wanderlust. Okay. And hey, Jack, how are you going? How have you been? Alright, where was I? I was looking at the text input. We're going to try and find anything wrong in here. Yeah, I thought so. It doesn't like that for some strange reason. For everything else, it's fine with the @ but for this, if I go @ here, just doesn't like it. But it builds perfectly fine. Define props is a compiler macro that's no longer needed to be imported. Oh. How am I doing that? Oh, it's fine. It's not telling me where I've done that. When the last, like always, want to explore. Okay, fair. Yep, fair enough. You're doing good? Oh, that's great to hear. So yeah, I can't complain either. I'm doing okay. So I just want to try one thing. Yeah, I thought so. Whoops. Broke something there. There I go. It was like that. Alright, and then validate. Oh, and we're going to use validation. Use validation. And we return. Alright, so we've got the model, we've got the rules passing through. We've got a ref for the error message. Going all the way down, so yep. So I'm just trying to remember what this is going to be like. So it comes through, error message and validate like that. Which, yeah, it means I don't need to do that anymore. I just need to validate. And I need to learn how to type correctly, alright? I did type that incorrect. I think that's all I need to do. And I think we can shorten that and just call it directly. No, I want to actually admit up if something is invalid. Alright, yes. That's why I still want this and didn't get rid of it. Where the error message dot length. Oh, hold on. What is that going to be? Oh yeah, it's going to be a string. So dot value equals nothing like that. All right. So that will be true. That gets sent up. Yeah. We still need the is required for the moment because we've got it down here as part of a if statement. The idea being is I could potentially look in here and then deal with it. No, I'm already doing that there. It's going to be a lot easier there. However, that being said, it should really be show is required. I'm just talking about the language around this. Is required sort of implies that you're going to get true false back and you know the thing is required. However, if I'm going to go show is required, it kind of means like, hey, this component, this little tiny line right here needs to show when it is required. Yeah, it's just a little tiny language change. Yeah, I don't know why it's saying that, do that, and then I'm going to have to look into that later. I know it has to do with the aliases, but we'll have a look into that later. It's best to use the aliases because this can move up and down folders and so forth like that, and it just breaks stuff. Alright, so what I want to do now is I want to deal with the local. Let's open up the local app. Oh, that's a card. Oh, all right. Yeah, I was playing around on the weekend and last week too. The submit button I'm happy with. What I've actually got to do is set up the documentation so that it works as a playground too. And what I mean there is people can see the code, how it's compiled, they jump in, they can play around with the little tiny things, but at the same time it gives us the ability to test using that documentation. So yeah. Alright. We won't need those anymore. We're going to go down here. We're going to delete is required because I do believe we've now removed it from here. This is a lot shorter now. We've got the tool tips and messages, which is great. We've got the minimal length and all that out of there too. What I want to do, label, yep, that's needed. Model value, yep. Model value. Shouldn't that just be model? Like that. All right. I'm not too worried about tooltips at the moment, but we've got the welcome input up here. We've got the label. We've got the, I don't think we need the ID. We don't actually pass the ID down. We've got the label. We've got the V model. We won't have a tooltip just yet. But we'll have validation rules. However, that's going to be like that. Now that should still compile perfectly fine. Our little tooltip's there. It's like, hello. What I want to do is I want to import. This is required rule and minimum length and maximum length. Alright, so we need the required rule, minimum length, which I think we put through something like that. And I'm just going to put 25 for the moment. And it's broken. Minimum length is not a function. Alright, yep. All right, we'll start with one first. We're just dealing it with that. And once again, this goes to, it's actually going to be in the types. This is going to be validation rule interface. Once again, it doesn't like that, so then I have to go All right, cool. Just gonna hit refresh. Everything's in here. Oh, we got an error. Rule is not a function. I'm just gonna refresh. Yep, rule is not a function. I forgot how I was gonna do this. Okay. Let's go down in here. Validation rules, array is validation rules interface. So we go in here, we've got the value. I've mocked this up, haven't I? And then the validate. Give me 2 seconds. I'm hoping I still have the tab open. Yep. Done that. And then when I call it, input on blur, all right. All right. Sorry, I'm just going through this. All right. We're going to put the validation at that level right there. All right. So I think I just got the wrong thing pulled through. All right. I think that was my big bad. So now we've got that there. We've got this appearing. Great. And then when we start typing stuff in, awesome. Then let's type in the minimum one. That's gonna, let's have a minimum length of 5. We've got to import that. Let me import it. I really, in reality, I should just jump up here and just key it in straight away. Oh, whoops. Like that. And we're going to do 25 for the max length. We're just going to go over here. I'm just going to hit refresh. As you see, this is already floated up like that. It is required. So if I start typing in stuff, boom. All right. The issue is that this text is too long. Smiley face. All right, there we go. That's working wonderfully. I'm not complaining about that at all. And the idea being is that there's less boilerplate in here. Less boilerplate in here. There's a couple of things that we've got to do. So when we get the validation rules, we need to actually redefine them as refs and pass those refs through. I'm not 100% sure why that was done like that. Yeah, I'm not sure why that was done like that. Now, the next thing to do is if we go down here, we've got on key up, on blur, we've got all the check validations. Oh, sorry, we good. Oh. Yeah, we've got all the check validations there. We've got that, which I'm happy with. We've got all of this. We've got the error message passing through. And if you notice, we don't have it taking out any space. The error, the error message is there. It's just empty. There's a placeholder in there at the moment that's invisible. Yeah, that's it. So yeah, and that's why it doesn't pop up and so forth with that. So yeah, all right. I am liking that. That seems a lot nicer to do. Now, it does mean that we've got to do this everywhere else. However, doing the validation does do one thing. So we've got components. The text input now can also be an email or a web page, a web URL or something like that, because we can build up on these validations. It just becomes expanded. So we should also deal with the text area. Yeah, also I want to do the tabs tonight too. Buttons fine, cards fine, checkbox. Checkbox will have validations too. We can get rid of is required. I don't know why I'm passing down the ID. No. I don't know why I'm passing down the ID. When we're auto-generating the ID everywhere else. I'll have to double check why I'm doing that. I've got to go and deal with date time, not tonight. That being said, we have decided sorry, wrong one. Go. We've decided to use Luxon, mainly because I'm just more used to it than any other ones. Yeah, with the date time and so forth at that. So, yeah, and that's to convert the date time which you get from the back office into the HTML elements and so forth like that, which there does need to be a conversion. I'm not writing that at all. I'm not handling that at all. What I'm going to allow people to do is pass through an integer, a ISO format as a string, or a datetime object. And then I'm happy to convert that into the HTML, and then whatever type you've passed through, I will convert back into that, hopefully. That's the idea. we'll figure it out. Okay, so that one's done. I'm happy with that. I do want to work on the select again. And we're going to remove all of is required and all that kind of stuff now. We're going to use what we are for the text editor. So the text input. I'm going to put that over there. We are going to get rid of is required. We'll have the label, we'll have the options, we'll have the tooltip message, and then we just need the validation stuff, which we just key in like that. That will automatically import all of that. We've got the select options interface, which is now part of types. There we go. Easy done. We've defined the model. We are going to do a little bit of copying and pasting. So we no longer need error that and that. What we can do is we can paste. We can do something like that. Yeah, we'll do that in a minute. We've defined the computed. Where is Kat? She's probably gone out in the living room. We do have an ad break in about 1:40. I'll try and find her then. So yeah. Or I'll get one other cat. So yeah. All right, get ID. We're fine with that at the moment. That I might turn into a composable in the near future, just because it's going to be everywhere. Let's actually do that. Oh, all right, cool. Select default colors. Oh yeah, we need to do that too. I might send my colors somewhere. All right, so get ID should be a composable function, as it'll be used everywhere. That's going to be the highest, just because we're going to actually implement that, and we're going to actually move that from backlog. Let's yeah, we'll finish off this one first, and then I'll get to that. So we've got the group options, computed, list, string, new set, map, item, option, group. All right, yep, that's just mapping everything out, because we'll have option groups and stuff like that, and that just sets up that. Options without groups, yep. Options with groups, yep, that's part of that sort of thing. Check validation is no longer going to be that big. Instead, what we want to do is we want to essentially go validate, and then we have error message dot value equals, and it's just an empty string. This could also be a composable too. I mean, that wouldn't hurt at all. Show is required. That's just a computed. That's just computed. So we're just going to scroll up to our computed section. L N O P. Once again, I like to put things in alphabetical order. It makes it a lot easier for me to find it. So check validation should also. Validation should be a composable. All right, cool. Anyway, it is the ad break. I am going to quickly find a cat. I am going to try and bribe them to come inside. All right, I'll be right back. got a kid. Here we go. He's very unsure of being in this room. He's like, no. He is going to run away very, very quickly. There we go. The instant I let go of him, he's going to run. And we are back. All right, let's get back into it. You just want to run away, don't you? All right. And I have a squeaky chair. All right, so yeah, we might want to, if this is going to be the same, we might as well try and see if we can get away with a composable. We know if this is going to be the same, we want to get that in a composable. It's just so that we've got reusable code everywhere. Yeah, that's... All right, so we're happy with this. We've got the tooltip, we've got the label. I'm just seeing how we've set up the label on here. Yeah, we've got a lot of just empty space like that. And then I've just neatened it up. Like that. Like that. Right, yeah, it's just to neaten it up a little bit. And we've got the select, then we've got the render options and so forth like that. We're all happy with that. We're all happy with the CSS and stuff like that. It's not happy with that. Yeah, I've got to fix up the aliases with the TS files. All right, so what I want to do is I'm just going to minimize everything. I'm going to open up the whelk. I'm going to open up the source, local apps. So we're happy with all of that so far. We're going to delete that. And we're going to delete that. All right, don't worry about it. We want whelk select in here. We want label equals select something. We also want the validation rules. Now this is going to be, oops. Like that, and we want required. The select statement won't have bin, won't have max at all, but that's perfectly fine. I'm now having a look at what we need. So label, we need the options. So that's just going to be, if I go up here, I'm going to delete that. I'm just going to delete before. There we go. Tighten everything up. We've got the form, we've got the validation rules. We just need some options. We've got the model. All right, so we'll go to 17. We're just going to go vModel equals model. Easy done. We need the options. We'll key in the options up here. We're just going to go. Select option interface. We've got an array. Hate when that happens. Maybe types. Select option interface. There we go. Disabled, labeled, opt group, and value. We're going to have a couple of options in here. All right, I'm not spending too much time figuring out what I want to put in the drop-down box. We're just playing around with this. We're going to go into here. I'm just going to hit restart. We have nothing in there, which means fail to resolve component whelk select. Yeah, because I haven't imported it. All right, import whelk select. All right, cool. This should do something like that. All right, awesome. If I bump that off to the right, we've got our options and stuff like that. That is pretty cool. But also, how are we going to get it to validate? Oops. So if I click submit, nothing's going to happen. This brings up another problem. So if someone tries to do a form submit or something like that, how can I get these components to validate as a double check? Yes. Oop. Oh. All right. Time to throw the pen. So we do have the ability to validate on-site it, but when we actually submitting stuff, so if I click this button without selecting something in here, I want this to go, hey, 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 stop, validate this. Now, one way to do it is to pass that validation. To go, all right, cool, validate this. I've also realized that select is not working. Sorry, not the select, the span. It's because it's under the label. That's better. Quick fix for that. So I've got one of two options. I'm just thinking, how can I do it? So one option is for a select to have it pop up there, but I can see this happening with a text input. So a text input might have something there and they skip it completely. They hit the submit button. You kind of want to be like to the user at that point, hey, you've missed these fields. And they scroll up and they see red text everywhere. That's what I'm trying to achieve. And if we have a look in here, we've got the check validation, validate, and all that kind of fun stuff. I just don't know how to do it. Oh, we're not using ref in here. We just need to run that. Alternatively, I could just run this. All right, let's look it up. View free run function in child component. Or call function in child component for, all right, cool. It looks like I've looked this up before, and have view parent, has a button. Methods, say hello, alert hello. All right, cool. Parent button at click. One easy way to do this is template child component. Ref is my child. Simply create a ref for the child component and you'll be able to call the methods the data has. That might work for us. But I'm just wondering if there is going to be a global thing on this. However, that being said, I could have multiple forms on a single page, which will cause problems. Yeah. Const child ref. All right, let's try that. Let's muck around with this. Let's go function validate. We're gonna put up. We had ref in this one, so const. This will be select ref equals ref. They've just got it as oh, all right. Oh. All right, let's just do that. We've got the welk select, all that kind of stuff. We're just going to go ref equals select ref, like that. We've then got const select ref equals ref, like that. And then check validation. All right, and then I just got to call this when the button is pressed. That's pretty easy to do. That will be just a simple v on click equals validate. This thing just does not know how to program sometimes. All right. Don't know if that will work. Nah. Yeah, check validation is not a function. Oh, I forgot the value. If we go into the wiki select, yeah, it should be all of that. I'm just gonna refresh. Just gonna, yeah, it's still not a function. All right, we'll just go back. We'll do this with the compositional AI API, not AI, API. So we got this, do something, console log. All right, cool. So const children ref. Yes, for the script setup, compositional, you need define expose. Oh. All right. That's fine. And then that's just an object like that. And we just go check validation. Like that. All right, cool. And then if we go into here, done. All right, cool. That's the difference. I'm just going to hit refresh. There it is. If we go submit, nothing looks like it's happening. So down in here, what we're going to do, we're going to go, not on that. We're going to go down here. We're going to go console log. And we're going to go dot here is done. Yeah, that's perfect like that. We're just going to go up in here. We're just going to hit refresh. We're just going to hit this. So we do get there. Just the validation for the select doesn't work. And hey, Aryan, how are you going? Hopefully you're going well. Welcome, welcome. And hello from India. So yeah, well, hello from Australia. So yeah, how's your day going? You guys would be, I think, 3:30 there at the moment. Oh, close, 3 o'clock. All right. How's the weather? Hopefully it's good. Now, another thing I've got to look at is I do have is required in there. So I'm just going to go to that implementation. And I'm just going to go value in here. And I'm just going to type in value. I just want to see what's actually going to happen. I'm going to reload. I'm just going to hit here. We've got an empty string. Oh. I'm going to write console log length in here. I'm just going to refresh. We're just going to hit submit. Length is 0, so we should be having true pop up. In which case, I'm just going to double check my view in here. So we've got the, where's our components? Got our local app. I'm so not used to just having one little thing in here. We've got the local app. Yeah, we should actually have multiple layers. I don't know why we actually just have one. That's better. I thought so. We've got the welk select. We've got select something. We've got the options. We've got tooltips. And all that kind of fun stuff. If I open that up, yeah, we just got the setup, emit. We've got the validate, check validation. All right, cool. Yep. We've got the rules. We've got error message being a ref. If I just click that a couple of times, that nothing's popping up. What I'm going to do, I'm hoping I haven't screwed something up. Oh, I think I know what I've done. I think I've done something silly. I'm not showing the error message. There we go. Yay! Alright, cool. Did something silly. But now we've got the select done. So if I pick the first option and then done. Now notice how it didn't disappear right away? So if we go submit and then I pick an option, this field is required. We want that to disappear. So on change, check validation, is that not firing? I don't think it is. So if all right, I'm going to refresh. I'm going to hit submit. We've got a got here. I'm just going to delete everything. And we've still got a got here. And then what I'm going to do, console log error message value. So I'm going to refresh. Cool, that's what we wanted. Yeah, that's not true. So I'm gonna go once again back down into the rules set. We're gonna go in here. We're just gonna go console log. We're going to have the value pass through, and we're just gonna go to the value. All right. I just want to see what's appearing there. We should also, if the value works out, we should do that. Anyway, I'm gonna hit submit. There you go. We've got empty string. This field is required. Yep. And we're gonna pick the first option, empty string again. All right. Cool. So I'm leaning on the fact that this there must be a better one. And Sour Yogurt, how are you going? Yeah, I'm going good. I am going good. I'm just figuring out why. I think this happens, but we don't have, it hasn't it hasn't got the latest model, which is why I think it's failing. So what I'm going to do, there's a couple of things I can do. We can do another on. Print fires when some text has been selected. I think this might be it. So we're just gonna go check validation there. I'm just going to hit refresh. We're just going to hit that. So yeah, that's what we want. And then the first option, second option. All right, yeah, that's definitely not what we want. The other thing we could do is we can add in a next tick into this whole process. So we got select, we got abort, we got before input, before match, cancel, can play. We've got change. Is fired for input, select, and text area. That would be check validation. Once again, we just got to go through this process very quickly. That filters. Yeah, once again, it's sending an empty string. But if I hit submit again, that will be perfectly fine. Or alternatively, if I select something, it knows how it's an empty string, and then I select something again, knows how it picks. It works, but I think that's going to be in its loss. I'm going to bring in next tick first. Just going to see how that works. It's just something very, very quick and easy to do. We're going to go first option, boom. I think that was it. I think we just needed to wait for the next tick. If I refresh that and I go submit, this field is required, boom, disappears. All right. However, you did see for a very fraction of a second, this field is required stays there, which is not ideal. So we're going to do a little bit of research. We're going to see if someone's come up with a better solution. This works, so we have this to fall back on. So we're going to go view 3, select events not have previous results. All right. Here we go. So, oops. I'm going to knock that off to the right. Get to the right. They have the select drop down and ones to use. All right, cool. So this is very, very similar. They got the items and all that kind of stuff. We're just going to change route. You don't need to specify data because so to just v on change route. All right, cool. And then add in the function call. Maybe this isn't the one I wanted. All right, in VP, email to select handle previous results during ACE. It's managed by checking the search query at the search change event. All right. No, not there. There. Now it's over. We don't need any of that. Input. Ooh, we've just hit another ad break. All right. Yeah, we just got to figure this one out. We still got the next tick, which will work. We do have that issue where it's there just for a fraction of a tiny of a second. If we can improve it, that will be great. If not, that's something I have to live with. It is definitely annoying. Yeah. Because we've got all this data that's meant to be passed through. Yeah, it's definitely annoying. Alright, so big yard. Oh, alright. almost finished this. We've got about 10 seconds left for the ads, and then we'll get right back into it. So, yeah. All right, welcome back, everyone. Oops, wrong one. So I'm going to try this input one first. We are getting rid of the next tick. I just want to double check everything first, you know. And I should go Mozilla Development Network, select. We're going to have a look at any events that are in here. Very, very quickly, size, styling, yep, examples, yep. Change in input. Change in input. And I am hearing a cat. I will be right back. Sorry. All right. So, events fired by select, change in input, suite, the option element, the option group element, customize select elements. All right, so change in input are it pretty much. So if I do first option, yeah, it comes through as an empty string. All right, I'm just gonna undo what I've just done. And we'll just leave it like that. It does mean, if we refresh this, it does mean, and I'll put this off to the right, if you have a look at this text, the instant I click that, you see it for a fraction of a second. We're just gonna have to leave it like that. Gonna find all those console logs. I need to clean this up to tell us what it's actually doing. All right. So I'm happy with the select. We've also found out a way where we could run validation checks on lower. Right, we can get that validation done at the parent object now because we've got that reference to it, the child elements and so forth like that. I'm just wondering how far down that reference can go. Yes. So, I'm also wondering if that means if I'm doing something like that, yeah, I'm just wondering how I would tell people how to do that properly and if that's actually good enough. I'm also wondering if I could do it where there's something global, where I could just run something global and I'll search through the whole thing. However, that being said, we've got it that there will be a lot of forms on NearBeach, and they're not all connected. So I think this will be fine. All right, I think this is fine. So if we go back to the components, actually no, we've got composables now. We've got the use validation one. Right, we did state that we wanted to do the get ID. I'm just going to put that one over there. We want this as a composables, get id.ps. don't think I'm importing anything at the moment, but that's perfectly fine. Export function get ID. I should actually. We should be explicit about this. Get component ID. Like so. We'll just have it like that. We'll figure out what I need to import in a minute. That's it. That's the very, very basics of it. All right, if we go with the Welk select for the moment, and we scroll up. Now this is computed. Ooh. All right, I'm gonna have to do a little bit of, actually before I do any of that, sorry. Oh, sorry, git status. I'm actually going to delete that. Where's my delete? Right there. There's a reason why I'm doing this madness at the moment. I'm just going to add everything. Screw it. I'm playing with fire at the moment. I want to actually commit this to say this is now working. So we've got the source. Actually, I need to double check that it is working before I commit. So we've got the Welk select text input. We've got the use validation. We've properly set up the validation and how we're going to implement it moving forward. I want to go npm run build. We have a couple of problems. I want to get these fixed before I do anything. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to copy that. I'm going to go find, and we're just going to fix that right now. So that is now under types. That one's done. Yeah, this won't take long. Almost finished. That's just going to be typed. I guarantee you that's just going to be like, oh, I can't find that, even though it can. Maybe, all right, I stand corrected. You can't find it. All right, that's going to be types. I'm just going to copy that one. I know I've got it open. I can't be bothered finding it, the tab that it is in. All right. And then we've got types, and then that will work perfectly fine. There we go. So git status, git add. All right, cool. Git status. What we're going to do? Git add everything. Git commit. We're going to state initial setup of the new validation process for both Welk select and Welk text input. And the validation will be done on everything. Now, the reason why I've done that is I've got now a steady state where this is all pushed up. I'm now implementing something slightly different. I'm then moving, I'm creating composables for the computer part. So we're just going to go view 3, composable computed. Alright, in Vue 3, composable is a function that levers the compositional API to encapsulate and reuse stateful logic, including computed properties. Sweet. The computed function automatically tracks its reactivity depending on, or reevaluates when those dependencies are added. Alright, cool. But what I want to know is if I could just shove that computed component right in a composable and be like, just use that. Using the composable in the component. So this is like full name JavaScript. So ref function use full name const. Full name is computed. All right. So we pass through the values and stuff like that into here. I'm assuming if we go down here, use full names. Oh, it just pulls out everything. Ooh. Compute properties are cached and only reevaluated when the dependencies change, unlike methods which run on every render, which is what we want. We want to rely on cached stuff. Read only by default, yep, which is fine. No side effects. Computed properties should ideally be pure functions without side effects. Yep, that's what we want. Kind of like static sort of helpers in .NET in that sort of regard. Ensure you dot the dot value. Yep, alright, cool. Let's try this. So, in here, we want to go new file. We're going to go get component ID. Easy done. .ts. I'm going to add that in. I'm going to close all other tabs. Great. We're then going to go composables, and that's going to be get component ID.ts. Sweet. We're going to import the ref and the computed from the, let's say, I love you. And then we want to export function get component ID. This is where I want to pass through certain functions. We want to pass through the label, and that's going to be a string. And I believe that's it for the moment. Let's go to a component. Let's actually do this on the select first. All right, so if I scroll up, yeah, we should move that to also. No, I won't be able to do that. Maybe. Because I need to pass through the validate and... Yeah, alright. The reason why I can't do that is if I pass through the validate... Yeah. Don't think there'll be much lines of code saved if I did that. Yeah, and that, and also I only need the async on the select. All right, cool. I've just decided that, yeah, we won't need that one. All right. We'll need all of those. I just wish I could extend this. Have a base and just extend it. Anyway. Show is required also needs to be moved over in there. All right. That's the next one. That's just going to be show is required.ts. Yeah. We'll do that one next. Let's continue with this one first. Where's my computer? That would be the get ID. So I'm just going to copy this for the moment. It's fine. We're just going to go down here. We're just going to paste it in there. That's going to be there for reference. So let's have a look at what this says. Oh. That's it. Yeah. Oi. I think my keyboard's starting to die. I mean, yeah, I can just do that. That's it. And later on, I'm going to not do that one. There is another thing. I'm going to archive that one. Yeah. Just because I decided not to do it. Because I think I'm going to have to push too much stuff to it. It then becomes a problem, being like very unreadable. Whereas, yes, we are repeating a couple of lines of code down here. That's fine. That's not going to be a problem. That, and I don't think we can put the admit and the validate and all that kind of... Yeah, no. We're going to come across a lot more problems if we do that. And then I've got to put in the check validation in there too. I've also got to put the define expose in the text too. So, that being said now, what I can do... can get rid of that. I can... Oh, where have you been, Missy? Everyone was asking for you. They were like, where are the stocks? Hmm? You're like, I was thinking myself. Alright, import. This is where we're going to import the get component ID. Cool, perfect. We're happy with that, apart from the fact that that's not finding the thing. All right. Oh, I just really hate when that happens. In fact, that should belong up there. Yeah, all right, cool. That's the same. We've got the get component ID. And I think that's it. All right. So we need const get component ID equals all of that, and then we need to return get component ID dot value. Actually, I'm just going to change that to component ID. That makes sense. So we got a component ID, we get it all selected, it then returns back a value. This should then return back a string. We're just stating it in the code like that, so whoever comes across this knows exactly what's going to happen. All of those are done like that. I'm going to copy that very, very quickly because I'm going to forget. We're going to paste that into the text input around about the bottom. Fuck off. Sorry, excuse me my French. I am getting sick and tired of this keyboard not actually working. That escape key is busted. Alright. It's like you press escape, it just doesn't fucking work. So this one's now done. This skips all of that. This actually goes into unit testing. Save and close. We did see in here something else we could potentially do. So we've got models, we've got the group options. That's unique to this. Show is required. This can go into our new place. So we're going to delete that. We're going to go show is required in here. Once again, we're just going to go composables dot show is required.ts. We're going to export. We had it as a function, didn't we? Oh, this is where I'm just going to open up that. Yep. Export function. Show is required. That's not going to be like that. We are going to paste in this where we've got the computed. So we need to import the computed from view. Once again, we like to put our things in like this. Thank you very much. And then we want to return show is required dot value. Now we need the validation rules. And that's going to be the validation rules interface like that. Oh. Oh. Okay, and then we need that one rule in here, like so. And that's it. That's all we really need. We can clean this up a little, just because... there you go, that looks a little bit nicer. And hi, Vera, or Virage. I do apologize if I got your name wrong, but welcome. I do hope you are having a wonderful day. We are just doing a little bit of composition. So now we've got rid of that. We've got the show is required being a problem, but we can get rid of that there. And then down here, we can go import show is required. And then once again, we just hit the like that. And that will work like that. And everyone's quite happy. But I need to pass through the props.validation rules like so. It can also be give me a couple of seconds. Yeah, that's all correct. undefined. Great, the N key is starting to screw up too. If we scroll back down here, there we go. All right. All right, we're going to go over here. I'm just going to hit refresh, hoping for the best. It is not working. You know why? npm run build and npm run dev. There we go. If we hit that, and all of this is kind of working now, and then we hit the first option, all that disappears, and so forth like that. I'm liking that. I am liking that a lot. I'm also liking how this is now looking. Except... Oh, socks. Sweetie, come here. And Tony. Can't I? Sorry. JavaScript forever. Fair enough. Whoops. There goes socks. Alright. I'm not liking the drop down specifically, but that's something we're not going to worry about tonight. We have got the validation working how we want it to. So if I just hit refresh, boom, this filter is required. Socks will stop sitting on my mouse. Alright. So if I go to the mockup, do this so you guys can actually see with the new page, that will cover the new page. We're not doing the multi-select yet. I've got to do some more research on how I want to get that sorted, how I'm going to break down it into separate components and stuff like that. Oh, fair enough. Pratham? Or Prath? Mesh? I'm terrible with new names. I do apologize. But yeah, this is Socks. She's usually on our stream and she usually causes trouble by sitting on my keyboard and sitting on my mouse. Or trying to get in the way of everything. So, the stack I'm using for the front end, I'm using VueJS with the compositional API. For the back end, I'm using Django along with Django REST framework too. So that way we've got an API to contact. And yeah, as for the CSS, it's mostly just plain old vanilla. Well, I'm quoting vanilla CSS, but we've got some post CSS in there that allows me to do this, to structure it. So yeah, still a long way to go with this. Still got a lot of components that we want to do. Now, that being said, I can probably port what I've done with the text editor into the password input tonight. That'll be a very quick win because they're pretty much the same. The only difference is we purposely put the type password there. Sorry. It's in ad time on Twitch. Don't worry if you're on YouTube, you don't get ads. We tend to do this just so no one misses out on any content. We run the ads to stop the pre-rolled ads because the pre-rolled ads suck. So yeah, how's everyone going? Hopefully good. Socks is in her bed at the moment. Oh no, there we go. Yeah, we'll do a lovely patting ad time. Yes, Socks. And we've got about 45 seconds left of the ads. There you go, she likes those. And she likes this too, the stone and scratch, but she's going to run off on the stone and scratch, and this is what she does. She clicks the mouse button. I'm glad she didn't stop the stream because I would be really pissed off if she did that. Isn't that right, Socks? She'd say, hehehehe. One day. Alright, we've got about 5 more seconds left. We'll just move the mouse, the camera over there. Go. And, oh, Socks, stop doing that with you. Oh, not now. Alright. Sorry, she's just clicked the mouse on something random. There I go. I just want a review on wallet with Spring Boot. For CV. I'm not sure what you're asking for. Alright, so this will be extremely similar. Do I have Beyond Compare on here? Oh, I do too. I did actually buy it. I just haven't for this. Oh, okay. I did buy it. I swear. Because I use it for work so often. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to buy this. It's saved my ass so many times. Ugh, just... Sometimes they would just want... Yeah, she does. She has a cover meter. And, yep, it needs to be filled out every now and then. If I'm away for a couple of days or something like that, she will... Sorry, I'll just... There it go. Because everyone prefers watching her. She will want lots of love. Right, I'm just seeing what the difference is between these first before I do anything silly. Oh, text. Sorry. Talking about silly stuff. Already doing silly stuff. Copy the wrong piece of text. There we go. Alright, so we just got that difference. We've removed a couple of that. We've removed a couple of that. Yeah, removed a couple of that. Now, with the difference down here, it's just like that, and that's text, and then that's the... Alright, yeah, so it's pretty much the same. Now, I did see the CSS changes or anything like that. All right, no, I'm happy with keeping those changes. I don't know about the project financial wallet app. Sorry. Now, straight away, we've got to change this to password. And I'm just going to test this on the up here again. Oh, wrong one. We want to go local. Local app. I'll keep the select in for the moment. We want welk password input. And we want vModel. And we just want to do something like that. We do need to... Yeah, I thought so. Password input. Well, password input dot view. I'm just gonna refresh. Doesn't provide an exported name that. Give me 2 seconds, I can figure this one out. Select render options, add components. Where's the welk? Oh, I want local app. Oh, I don't need these. Yeah, I don't need this. Alright, just gonna hit refresh. There we go. We've got our password, and that's what it'll look like. Now, a little tip is you can always change the type to text. Haha. Little secret. Alright, cool. So that is done. Model password. Yeah, I've screwed that up. But that's perfectly fine. All of this is fine. I'm happy with that. It should behave and look the same as the text input. Alright, cool. So that should almost be done because I just realized also I need to input the composables into that too. Shoot. Alright, text input. I'm just going to put the select over there. What we're going to do is we're going to compute get ID. We're getting rid of that now. Check validation. Show is required. We're getting rid of that. We're defining the functions. And then up here, doing that. Oh, just doing that. We'll just do that very, very quickly. We're going to import get component ID. Once again, it's just going to do this thing. I've got to fix that up. That's going to drive me nuts. Import, that is show is required. Once again, I just got to go and then we're just going to go down here and then get component ID, and then it's just the props.label. Show is required, and that's going to be props.validation roles. Easy done. I think that's it. Yeah, and we've got to do that on the text. Once again, this is going to be we're just going to yank those. We're just going to do that. We're just going to scroll down. We're getting rid of that. And then we're going to define functions. Define that will be props.label. We're just going to props.label, easy done, is required. That's going to be props.validation roles. Easy done. All right. We can get rid of some of this excess stuff that we're no longer using. Oops. Done. All right. All right. So I can close this now. It's got all. Yeah, that's perfectly fine. All of this one is perfectly fine. Now, I'm not going to bother with anything else at the moment because the button and the card, they don't have anything which we need to worry about. Validation. Checkbox, we might need to deal with that. I need to double check how I want to actually do that because I think I'm going to have a single checkbox, but then also have a checkbox group that will group all the values into one modal. Got to figure out how that will actually work. Then date time, I've got to actually start working on that again. We need to actually implement the translation layer where it can go from a date object, a JavaScript date object, a ISO format, so string, to pane, an integer, and all that kind of fun stuff. So yeah, got to figure that one out. Form group, we don't need to worry about. That's just that's just that. That handles mobile stuff. Multi-select, yeah. All right, multi-select. I'll need to definitely work on. Yeah, there's a lot here which I will definitely need to work on. Number input. Ooh, we could potentially have a look at this. I'm already noticing that we have. Oi! Sorry, that's my keyboard not accepting the escape key being pressed. There are a couple of fixes I can quickly push through with this one. All right. Oh. Yeah, all right. This one, I'm going to leave for the moment because a lot of this, min max, they should be put into the validation stuff. Yeah, they should definitely be put into the validation stuff. Oh, I don't know what the cube is. Honestly, I got this one such a long time ago. I don't know. Sorry. No, I'm struggling. The pressure's on. So I can move the maxval, minval into a validation sort of process. That way I can handle all the errors in the one spot and even translations that I need for that. Step increment we want to keep here. Tooltip messages we want to keep here. And the default value is actually set above. So yeah. That is something we could potentially do tonight. I think we can do that very, very quickly. Yeah, screw it. Let's do it right now. So validation rules. We also need the types. So give me 2 seconds. Validation. So we've got maximum and minimum length. Could I reuse those? No, I can't. Yeah, this keyboard's starting to die. All right. So we're gonna have minimum value, maximum value in here like that. I'm just going to key this in here very, very quickly, like that. Is done. We'll set these up at the moment, so it'll be after this. So we'll go export const min value. And I'm just going to go equals. We want to go min number message string. And all of that's going to be a validation rule interface as type. We then want to go into here. We've got a const rule where the validation rule interface equals, we've got a value, that will be a number. Actually, no, that will be an unknown. And then what we want to do is we're going to have an if statement. So if the type of value does not equal number, we're very much like down here, we're going to go non-string. All right, so non-number values are not valid, and we're just going to return a message. All right, so this is going to be a little bit of a problem. Then if I bump this over here, we are going to go rule type equals minimum value, and we're just going to return a rule. Easy done. No problem there. Hang on. Yes, we do have a problem. I haven't done value here. So return. So we want the value to be greater or equal to the min value, or we're going to return the message. Yeah, so if it's less than that min value, it will throw up an error. And people will be like, oh no. Talking about oh no. Piss off. Sorry, excuse my French. Unknown. What's going on here? Sometimes it's just easier to copy this. All right, we'll just copy that. I'm at that moment where I just like, nah, why are you breaking? Why aren't you working? All right, so if value, type of value does not equal number. Oops, sorry, I've been using a lot of .NET. We just want to return message. All right, value must be a number. Return true. Oh, it's because, yeah, it's that question. Yeah, all right, no, I got it. No, I need something similar to this. This will be number must be or greater. All right. There we go. That's that, and then we delete that line. All right, cool. And then what I need to do is I need to return the value must be greater or equal to the minimum. Otherwise, we're sending back the message, and we're like, nah. Like that. Sometimes when this happens, what you can do a little bit cleaner. Return validation. It looks a lot nicer having it like that. All right. And the best thing is I'm just going to copy this. We're just going to go down here. We're just going to paste it. This is going to be max value. Now, we need to get rid of that min and go max. Easy done. It's all hunky-dory. And then we just go like that. Oh, that's one thing I didn't do right up here. With this type of, we no longer need to worry about that. It's just going to be message, done. Because we handled that up here. So we just do that. And then this has to be less than or equal to the max value. And this will be the maximum value. I just realized up here we've got minimum value. Yeah, we just need to change those. Easy done. All right, cool. So we're getting these all done. I'm liking this. Then if we go into the number input, we can now get rid of this. Sweet. Perfect. What I'm also going to do, can get rid of that in there. I'm going to go welk number input. We've got the label number input. We're going to do something like that. Sorry, socks. I know I moved my arm and you're going to be like, oh. All right. I think everyone saw that too. You literally reached out as I moved my arm away. Sorry, sweetie. All right, so we've got it like that. With the number input. So we're no longer doing this. Currently at the moment, what actually happens is if someone tries pressing those buttons and all that kind of fun stuff, it doesn't work. You try and key in a value, it won't work. But it also has a drawback, being like if you type in negative, it will fail and all that kind of stuff. So, yes. All right. So I'm just having a think how I could actually tackle this. I'm getting rid of it for starters. I'm going to do something like that. Actually, we can still do this with the applied decrement. We won't need the error messages anymore. Yeah, all of this changes. All right, which is fine. We've got a better improvement for this. All right. Oops. I might have to comment out all of this for the moment. The reason being is I need to come back and fix this up. So we will have a min value and a max value and stuff like that. That will come through the decorator. Sorry, through the validation. So I can still do this increment where what actually happens is if you increment and the step count is further than the max value, or if you decrement and it's less than the step count makes you go less than the number and stuff like that, it'll hit that ceiling or that floor. And that's all what that's doing. And it's something easy we can re-implement. The manual update. Yeah, we'll comment that one out for the moment. We also have parts where we've got the... It's meant to disable at certain moments. And the reason for that is if you hit those moments and you have a screen reader, you kind of want it to be disabled so that way you sort of feed back to the user, hey, you can't change this number any further. Yes. Which is something I'm going to have to actually program in. Oh, I don't think I can do that. No, I need to get rid of it like that. And is max. And we're on our final ad break for the night. We've got about 20 minutes left. Maybe a lot less, depending how it goes. So, yeah. I've been happy tonight. I might do a release of Welk tonight. Once again, this is all early stages and stuff like that. So what I need to do is try and think and have my brain actually work. What I need to do is sort of flag which components are higher priority over others and start implementing them first. So for example, the select, the text input, probably the text area next, and so forth like that, and get them all set up. I also got to set up the validation column in on my Kanban board, so that way when I'm moving things across, I double check everything and so forth like that. So yeah, I also got to figure out a way how I can document all of this. And Socks is coming back slowly. Welcome back, everyone. That Socks just appeared. She is in her bed, so we're just gonna whoop. No, I just tilted my monitor by mistake. There you go, Socks. You're front and center. Which is that good? All right, getting back into it. Yes, I'm going to quickly do that. So we've got unit test and documentation. I'm just going to go and edit this Kanban board very, very quickly. We're going to add in a column, and we're going to put in, this is validation. It is going to be a normal column. We are going to move that up to there. Actually, yeah, there. We'll do the validation first, then accessibility, and then we've got unit testing, which happens rather late in the whole thing. That's just because we're still redesigning all our components and how we're gonna do this and that. I just want that flexibility because I don't want to keep writing unit tests that I'm going to delete and so forth like that. No, go back into your bed. People want to see you. Alright, go back to the Kanban board. Alright, so as you can see, this isn't how we exactly want it. Oh, alright, it's doing that. It's kind of working, which is nice. If we go into our console, we don't have any console errors. We do have a problem where it's not in that sort of shape, and the buttons need to be colored too. I also need to have it that when it's been selected, it actually comes up with a proper color and so forth like that when it's on focus. Yeah. Alright. I still got to come up with those colors and so forth like that. I just want to test the... Oh, we haven't keyed in the validation or anything like that. All right, cool. We need to yank these 4 lines. We're just going to go down here. We're just going to paste those in. Validation rules. We're also going to check everything in here. The error message, that's just disappearing now. The computer get ID, that's disappearing now. Those are disappearing. Manual update. I tell you what, that's disappearing because all that has moved now. So we're going to go get component ID. We're going to pass through the props and label like so. We're just going to get component ID. We're just going to props and label. I'm just going to hover over this. It knows what it's got to do. And it still fucks it up. There we go. Computer's no longer needed. Ref is no longer needed. Oh, that's a bit... These will definitely be needed. So after models, we're passing that through. And then we need this passing through. We need this passing through. And then, yeah, we need manual update. I'm actually going to, hang on, no, because, yeah, we'll be doing that. We need to validate. And we'll get rid of all of that, and then we just go validate, like that. With these buttons, yeah, I've got to figure out how I want them to work and all that kind of fun stuff. Hang on, check validation. I've got to deal with all the emitting stuff too. That's got to be up there. Give me 2 seconds. That goes above the props, like so. And then it's emit and is valid. And then what we have is error message dot value equals, and it's just blank empty string, which is what we want. And then down here we've got to go check validation. Yeah, that's it. Now this is going to fail all its tests at the moment because our unit test actually tests when we actually press the button. Those buttons aren't going to function how we want them to. That's perfectly fine. We're not worried about that at all. I do need to actually go through and make those buttons different colors. Once again, I am... After the stream, I'm going to sit down and actually pick those colors out. I am then probably going to do all the colors for all the components and so forth like that. So yeah, it's going to be one giant CSS change and all that kind of fun stuff. No problem. So now that I've done that, what did I want to do? I want to test this. So we want to go into this. We then want to go validation rules. We're going to have required. Required's not needed at all. The default is going to be 1. We're going to have min value of 0 and max value of 10. All right, and we're just going to import those. Yeah, that's just going to be perfectly fine. All right, get back here. We're going to go down here. We're going to delete that error message because we actually have a specific way we're dealing with the error messages. It's just like that. It's a slot rendered like that. Everyone's happy. Everyone's fine. If I go minus, that's not going to work. But if I go -1 and I do that, it's working with the keyboard perfectly fine. Perfect. The camera Rubik's. All right. Just because we're finishing up here. Now, I should polish this component up before I push it, because I will hate myself later when I realize I have not polished this component and it is actually being used on the project side of things. So let's go over here like this. We're just going to do this like that, and then we're just going to do something like that. Ta-da! All right. So when we're away from it, it does that. We're not happy with that at all. So I'm just going to go into our number input. We're just going to have a look down here. We're doing that. We're doing that. All right, cool. I'm having a look at our Welk text input. I'm just going to put that off to the right. Scroll down to the CSS. We're pretty much copying a lot of this. So with the text input, we've got a margin bottom, which will key in automatically. We've got a label, we've got a margin bottom, and then we've also got a span where we've got the color, we've got the var, and we've got the Welk text red. Easy done. I'm just having a look up here. We actually don't have that because as a number input. It will always have a number. Then we've got the input row. I instantly see what we're missing. We're missing the padding. 0.5 REM, done, is done. Yep. This is going to be border, color, focus. All right, cool. That doesn't like that. I'm just going to copy that. I've typed in something wrong in here. Like that. Outline none. Border width we're getting rid of. Padding, getting rid of that. And that's the positive, and that's the negative. All right, cool. I'm happy with that. Apart from the fact that that says margin bottom and it's not an REM. So I'm going to do that very, very quickly. So we're going to go over here. We've just fixed that up, and then when you click on it, yeah, it's does the focus. Now the select should also do the focus. So I'm going to quickly fix that up for the select. So we're just going to go into the select. We're just going to open this up. We're just going to, with the select, we've got the and focus. I'm double checking it here. And that focus. Yeah, it's just the color we didn't do. There we go, that's better. And then what we'll do is, I don't know if we can deal with any of that in there, but that's perfectly fine. That's another sort of stream. We also should pick some colors for the buttons, but that's perfectly fine. That's another sort of stream. Once I get the colors in, I can come back and actually tweak all of these. All right, so we're going to do this. We're going to go git status. We're going to go git add. We're all happy with that. Git status again, just to see everything in there. So git commit. What we've done is move created the composables get component ID and show is required. Implemented for the number input, welk, number input, the welk text input, and the welk select. All right. I've got a lot to do still. However, this is a good area that we're in. I'm just thinking now that I've got how I want the validation done. Oh, I've got to deal with all of that. All right, now that I've got the validation how I want it done, this is just we're going to go back to NearBeach. We're going to sort of implement what we need in there and hope for the best. So, yeah. Yeah, I just need to implement what we need in there. And I'm also trying to think how we're going to implement the quills.js. Oh, I need to do the tabs too. So, oh. Something we need to actually do. Okay, not a problem. Not a problem at all. That will be something we do at another date. In the meantime, let's go raid someone. All right. go into the secret screen. We can bring this back up to here. Yeah, thank you very much, everyone, for coming here tonight. We got a lot done with Welk. I'm glad that the validation is up and running. This just means hopefully it's just going to be a lot easier for us moving forward. Yeah. I'm trying to also think what else do I need to do? Oh, there's always a lot to do. Anyway, thank you very much. We're going to raid Sweaty Games Live. Oops. Just give me 2 seconds. I'll bring him down and I'll undo that. And yeah. Let's go on right through. And for those on YouTube, sorry you won't be able to follow us, but thank you very much for being here, and don't forget to like and